Little snack, but something that we have in front of us right now, I would be so happy to eat as part of my steak and eggs breakfast. I would be happy to serve it sliced up on a salad for lunch. I would love to have this share the plate with maybe some lobster tail from Greenhead for dinner. What is this mysterious food? Black Angus Filet Mignon, and it comes to us from the world of Rastelli, M51454. That is a thing of beauty right there. And this is a Customer Choice Award-winning brand for being a most recommended brand to recommend to friends and family and even people on QVC.com. So if you want this, there's two ways to bring these home. You can get the 14 count of the 2 ounces, which is right here. You can get the 28 count of the 2 ounces, and this is where it gets really good because it's a buy more save more of $29. Instead of doubling the price to give you twice as much food, you're saving $29 by bundling your 2 orders together and getting them all at once. Do those on 4 easy payments, and please say hello to Ray Rastelli, who is the gentleman who began this brand over 40 years ago. Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas.
Thank
How
you,
are
my
you
dear.
today?
I'm well. How are you?
It's wonderful to be here.
So, filet mignon is probably the most sought after high-end meat when you go to a gourmet steakhouse because of its tenderness. But I have to say that when you bring these to QVC, I find that these are better every single time than what I can get at a steakhouse.
You're so right. And the filet mignon, as you mentioned, Sharon, it is the most tender steak. You're never going to go wrong. Every single bite is going to be tender. And what we've done here is we've taken the best of the best and we've trimmed it completely and we aged it. And that's really a difference. So I want to kind of bring you right over to the meat block, because this is where I always start. I love to talk about really what we start with. And today we start with Black Angus. So these are not chunks and pieces. These are actually filet mignon steaks, thin sliced at about a ½ inch thick. So you get a beautiful 2 ounce medallion. But what I want you to notice is completely cleaned. What that means is we've taken all the fat completely off it. It's just center cut. And Sharon, we only get 2 of these from every steer. So you see, they're very special steaks, and that's why we can't bring them to QVC all that often.
And it's really kind of interesting about that too. One of the times that we are more likely to bring them is around holiday season, around Christmas and around Easter. But to your point, we don't have them on often enough, and I'll tell you why. Because we do have auto delivery. So the lucky people who have already locked themselves into auto delivery for these get their orders fulfilled first, and then it takes you even more time to get enough to have a single individual presentation like we're having right now.
It really does. And you know, this particular steak, as I said, it's always going to be tender, always going to be juicy, but it's also versatile. So look what I did here.
Wait, what is this?
Isn't that pretty? I took 1 tenderloin and I just sliced it in half, long ways, and then I just wrapped them in some asparagus.
That is stunning.
Look how beautiful that is. And that will be so tender, and your guest will just think you know how to just cook. And you know, I'm not a cook, I'm a butcher, right? But I love doing these kinds of things because it's just so simple to do with this particular piece of meat.
You know what, I do need to mention something to you, which is that the 14 count is very popular again this time, and the 14 count actually sold out the last time it was on the air. So let me just bring to your attention the price on this per piece. Because I think about this like I'm going to a fabulous steakhouse, and I am thinking about the princess cut or the 4 ounces of what I would be getting and then what I'm paying for that. These are 2 ounces, okay? If you go for the set of 14, it's $4.93 a steak. If you go for the set of 28, it comes down to $3.89 a steak. So you know what that means? If you go for the 24 count, think about that 4 ounce filet mignon you get at that steakhouse. Is it less than $8? I don't think it is.
No.
And is it Black Angus for less than $8 when they put some little whipped potatoes on the side? No, I don't really think it is. And then here you get to cook it truly to your liking. You get to have some fun with great recipe ideas like wrapping it around the asparagus you did there. And because it's the 2 ounce size, to me it is the most versatile, because there are times where I do want it to share the plate with another protein. But even if I'm not sharing the plate with another protein, if I have someone coming over that has a really hearty appetite, I will make 2 or 3 of them for that one person. I take out exactly what I need.
It is. It's so simple. You know, being able to take a tenderloin and just slice it nice and thin like this, and then take that tenderloin and put that on top of a piece of crostini, which I've done over here.
So, oh my gosh, look at that.
Raspberry gel, and you can see just Look at how far that goes. There's 6 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I made that with half of one of these. So you can see, you can get so versatile with this. And what I love about it is so quick. You know, if you're really in a pinch and you've got to do something really quick for dinner, but you want it to be an awesome dinner, just a great dinner, this is that steak that's going to perform each and every time. And I mentioned earlier about the trim, but what I wanted to really mention to you is the aging process. You know, as a butcher, what we do for the great steakhouses all over the country is we age that product at least 28 days. That aging process actually breaks down the internal enzymes in that piece of meat, and it makes it more tender. It gives you more juicy, more flavor. So that's why when you go to a great steakhouse, it says aged. Well, that's what you're getting at home. You're getting that same great Black Angus aged steaks.
And you know what? Over 400 of these have now been ordered. I do highly recommend the auto delivery, so you don't have to keep checking on QVC.com or to keep checking if there's any available orders that you can get, because when you're in auto delivery, you are locked in every 90 days for 1 year. Your price is locked in. Your 4 easy payments are locked in, which is fabulous. And someone may be watching you, Ray, for the very first time that has never seen you before. And I did mention that you started your business over 40 years ago, but I would love, we have some footage where we can take a look at your business, where there's a member of your family always present.
All the time. And, you know, and that's the butcher shop. You know, the butcher shop is one of those places that you need to trust your butcher. You know, and our guests come into our butcher shop every day. For the past 40 years, they've come in. There's always a Rastelli family member there that's making sure that that product is good enough to give to our mom, because if we wouldn't give it to our mom, we won't give it to our guests. So we get the opportunity to meet our guests, talk about what really they love putting on the plate. But what's really nice is when they come back the next week, Sharon, they say, you know, that piece of steak you gave me for my husband, it was awesome and I loved it. What do I got this week? Well, this week it happens to be tenderloin medallions.
This is fabulous.
Filet mignon.
It's fabulous. Yeah, we do affectionately like to call you America's neighborhood butcher, because, you know, I haven't talked about this in a long time, but I remember when I was a child, we went to the butcher. It was not that far away from our house. His name was Metzger's. We went to Metzger's Butcher. And I remember standing there when I was like 4 or 5 years old, where my mother got the choice cuts that she needed to use for the week. We did not buy meat at the grocery store. It was the butcher. I don't know when that seemed to, quote unquote, go out of fashion, or if butchers just left and then they moved into the grocery stores. But to have that level of trust where you know your customers know you. And while he can't actually talk to you through the television screen, the mantra for the business is still the same. If it wasn't good enough for Ray to serve to his own mother, he would not be giving it to you. He just wouldn't let the product, you just wouldn't have it. It wouldn't exist.
It really is. You know, it's a dying art, the butcher, but we won't let it die. Our family is committed to making sure that we do the same thing we've done for the past 40 years for the next 40. And QVC's been just a great place for us to be able to share what we love to do as a family and bring it to your family at home.
And once again, you are getting a choice of 14, which I know has been very popular this time around, or the 28. Now over 700 have been spoken for. The 14 count is the one that sold out the last time, but even though it's popular today, I want to remind you of your best value. If you go for the 14 count, it's $4.93 a steak for Black Angus aged filet mignon. Smaller piece, but it's still the filet. It's still what you want and what you love. So that's $4.93 a steak. If you do the buy more, save more and bundle your 2 orders together and have them shipped together, your price comes down to $3.89 a steak. So that's why I love the buy more, save more, because these will stay good in the freezer for a very long time. I'd rather you save the money and know that they're available, because the funny thing is, you will be surprised at how many times you will end up reaching for these because they're there. You're going to get the phone call that, you know, your significant other is coming home and the boss is in tow. And it's like, okay, what am I going to serve? I don't have time to run out and go do something. But you want to impress. You don't want to overdo it. You want to just raise the bar a bit.
And look how easy that is. Like, we just put these on just a few minutes ago, right? That's simple. I put a little seasoning on top, and remember, our spice pack does come with the steak, so you'll get a package of our signature seasonings.
And if you have a signature seasoning you love, go for it. I just love that you include yours in case you don't have one.
And again, that's our family seasoning that we like to use. But look at this. Here is. Look at how beautiful the steak is.
May I also mention something? This is far less pink than the one that you cut up earlier, and look at all of the juiciness that is still
amazing?
in there. Can I have a bite of that fresh one?
You can, but you know what I'm going to do for you, Sharon?
Yes,
Watch.
what are you going to do?
I'm going to do this. I'm going to take my fork and I'm going to cut 2 entire tenderloins
That was
in
a
half.
double layer.
With a fork. Look at that. Now that was a fork.
All right.
So that's how simple this product is. We've made it so easy for you. And of course our asparagus wrapped isn't that good? Our asparagus wrapped tenderloins are going to come off now too. So I want you to see how easy this is. So again, all I did here was took a tenderloin, sliced it in half long ways, and then just took a piece of asparagus, 2 pieces of asparagus.
So wait, when you said you sliced it in half long ways,
So in
is
other
there a
words-
special knife that you use for that? Like, do we need a special tool?
No, but I will give you a tip, right? So if
Please,
you
I
come
love to
over,
hear what you have to
to
say.
here, I'll give
Yes.
you a tip. It's really simple. So
Okay.
I'm not going to use this knife because I was using a knife, but
Okay.
if you take your hand and you press down on the piece of meat, and you take your knife and you slice through it that way, you'll be able to actually feel the knife under your hand. So next time on, I'll show you how to do that.
I want to
just don't
see
want
it.
to do that with this
I want
knife,
to see it.
right?
I appreciate you doing that. You
Yes.
didn't want to cross-contaminate
No,
on the
didn't
meat
wanna do
board.
that.
But take a look, whether this is an appetizer or you're doing this as part of the meal. Look at how
Look
stunning
at how
that is.
beautiful that is. So that could be an appetizer. That could be part of your meal, as you mentioned, Sharon. So there's so many different things that we can do with this tenderloin.
And you know, over 900, actually close to 950, have now been ordered. We do not have this assortment on the air nearly as often as we would like. Who doesn't love filet mignon? If you're gonna go get a steak, that is the one. That is the one when you go to the steakhouse that you always look at. And you wonder, just like a lobster tail, if it's going to have the dreaded MP next to it. Like, is it really going to be?
What's it really going to cost?
What is it really going to cost me to get this Black Angus filet mignon that has been aged? And you only find the aging at fine steakhouses. You do not find the aging usually at your local grocery store. That's why this is so beautiful, because even the first piece that I had was not seasoned. The second piece that I had was, but the first one was not seasoned, and it was still delicious.
And you know, again, because we start with Black Angus, you're going to always get that beautiful flavor. But because we then go to a tenderloin, which is a filet mignon, every piece is guaranteed tender. And look at the natural juices that are coming out of that. You can't go wrong with this steak. There's not a thing you can do to ruin this steak, believe me.
Right. This is a top find in our show today. We knew it was going to be popular because we can never keep up with the demand. Auto delivery is very popular. I believe, did you say, was it 1,200, Frank? 1,200 orders have been placed, and this is a Customer Choice Award-winning brand for most recommended brand. They bring a wide variety of different steaks and foods to us, and I love that everybody loves everything that you bring, because just this one food item can be an appetizer the way we see it over there. I can eat it for dinner with some delicious vegetables. This 2-ounce size would be perfect for me. I've started running recently, so to have a protein breakfast that has just the 2-ounce steak and a scrambled egg next to it is awesome.
It is, and we've actually shown that here. It's so easy. You saw how fast they cooked. They literally cooked in 4 minutes. And they come packaged so that there's 2 in a package. So you don't have to pull all 14 or 20. You pull out what you would like. These will defrost very, very quickly in your refrigerator. If you're really in a pinch, drop them under cold water in about 5 minutes, and you've got them ready to go.
I have never been able to plan ahead because of the wackiness of my life. That works for me like a charm every single time. Set of 14 sold out last time. It was very popular today. $69 is your price here, but if you bundle your orders together and do the whole thing, it's not just twice the price, it's $29 less than that. So it's a great savings. It's M51454 if you want to grab this. My dear, are you in tomorrow's show?
I am, yes.
Look
I will
forward
see
to seeing
tomorrow.
you.
Yes. Thank you.
We have a little mini-series happening during the week this week. That's the way our last 3 weeks have actually been as we prepare for the holidays. I happen to have a one-day-only value from Graham & Rollins coming your way. The lobster crab cakes have not been